Say his name 5 times in a mirror, and you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. But his strange supernatural character with a hook. Let's talk about the original Candyman, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dual, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1992 gothic supernatural horror flick Candyman, originally released by TriStar along with Hologram Film Entertainment. Of course, this film is now under license at Universal. The film was written and directed by Bernard Rose, based on Clive Barker's short story The Forbidden, starring Virginia Madsen, along with Tony Todd, who plays the title character, Xander Berkeley, Casey Lemmons, and Vanessa Williams. The film follows a Chicago graduate student completing a thesis on urban legends and folklore, which leads her to the legend of the Candyman, the ghost of an African-American artist and the son of a slave who was murdered in the late 19th century for his relationship with the daughter of a wealthy white man. The film did get some good reviews when it came out because it was released on this day, October 6th in 1992. Thus, today's the film's 30th anniversary. Now, it was done at the film festival a month before that. But I'm doing it on the day it was released fully. Now, this film came to fruition after a chance meeting between Bernard Rose and Clive Barker, who recently completed his own film adaptation of Nightbreed a couple years before this. If you don't recall the name of Clive Barker, that's the guy who gave us Hellraiser. So Rose expressed interest in The Forbidden, and Barker agreed to license the rights. Where Barker's story revolved around the themes of the British class system in contemporary Liverpool, Rose chose to refit the story to Cabrini Green's public housing development in Chicago and instead focus on the themes of race and social class in the inner United States. Yes. So, let us get into the story. While researching urban legends, University of Illinois Chicago's semiotics graduate student Helen Lyle learns of the Candyman, a spirit who kills anyone who speaks his name 5 times in front of a mirror. She learns of a recent murder at the Cabrini Green Homes public housing project and 2,000 others that have been attributed by locals to the Candyman. Skeptical, Helen and her friend Bernadette Walsh repeat the Candyman's name to Helen's bathroom mirror, but nothing happens. So the two work together on a thesis on how Cabrini Green residents use the Candyman legend to cope with hardship. She and Bernadette visit the scene of the most recent murder, where Helen discovers a room where offerings have been left for the Candyman. Afterwards, the interview I'm sorry, my mess up. Afterwards, they interview the victim's neighbor, Anne Marie McCoy, a single mother raising her infant son, Anthony. Helen and her husband, Trevor, later have dinner with an expert on the Candyman legend, who says that the Candyman was Daniel Robitaille, an African-American man born in the late 1800s as the son of a slave and who grew up to become a well-known painter. After he fell in love with and impregnated a white woman, her father sent a lynch mob after him. The mob cut off his right hand and smeared him with honeycomb stolen from an apiary, if I mispronounced that, I apologize, attracting bees that stung him to death. His corpse was burned in a pyre erected on the site where the Cabrini Green homes were eventually built. When Helen returns to Cabrini Green, a young boy named Jake tells her of an incident where a developmentally disabled boy was violently castrated by Candyman in a public bathroom. She goes to investigate where a man calling himself the Candyman attacks her. She identifies her attacker, who in reality is the head of a local gang, to the police. He is charged for the murders and attributed to the Candyman. The real Candyman appears to Helen in a parking garage and hypnotizes her. He explains that because she has discredited his legend, he must shed innocent blood to perpetrate it. Helen blacks out and awakens in Anne-Marie's apartment covered in blood to find Anne-Marie's pet Rottweiler decapitated and her son Anthony kidnapped. The police arrive and arrest Helen. After Trevor bails her out of jail, Helen finds the Candyman in a photograph she took at Cabrini Green. He appears inside Helen's apartment and cuts her neck, causing her to bleed and pass out. Bernadette arrives at Helen's apartment, and when Helen comes to, she sees that the Candyman has murdered Bernadette. Framed for the crime, Helen is committed to a psychiatric hospital. While being interviewed in preparation for her trial a month later, Helen attempts to prove her innocence by summoning the Candyman, who appears and murders her psychiatrist. Candyman then frees Helen from her restraints, allowing her to escape. She returns to her apartment to find Trevor now living with one of his students. Helen confronts him, then flees to Cabrini Green to rescue Anthony. When she finds the Candyman in his lair, he tells her that surrendering to him will ensure Anthony's safety. Alright, I'm going to the ending. You know, procedure, 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box, fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue. Sorry, I had to get it done quickly. Okay, you've been warned. Offering Helen immortality, the Candyman opens his coat, revealing a rib cage wreathed in bees. The bees pour out of his mouth as he kisses her and stream down her throat. He vanishes when Anthony and Helen awakes to discover a mural of the Candyman and his lover, who bears a striking resemblance to her. The Candyman promises to release Anthony if Helen helps him strike fear into Cabrini Green's residence. Attempting to feed his legend, the Candyman reneges and attempts to immolate both Helen and Anthony in a pyre. The flames destroy the Candyman. Helen dies while saving Anthony. The residents, led by Anne-Marie and Jake, pay their respect at Helen's funeral. At home, the grief-stricken and guilt-ridden Trevor looks into the mirror and says Helen's name 5 times, whereupon Helen's vengeful spirit appears and kills him. A new mural of Helen dressed in white with her hair ablaze appears in the Candyman's lair. End of story. So what did I think of Candyman? Well, I've got to say, it was really, really shocking and what have you. It's a good supernatural horror flick, and I do like it. The film went on to make $25 million here in the U.S., where it was also regarded in some critical circles as a contemporary classic of horror cinema. Yeah, I agree. That is really good. And it does have some pretty good bloody, gory bits and what have you as well. It's haunting, it's pretty suspenseful in some ways, and just about anything you could get from maybe something like this, even with a little bit of a slasher feel. But it's more supernatural, though. Now, as for our cast, we have Virginia Madsen playing Helen. She does a great job. I loved her performance. Xander Berkeley plays her husband Trevor, who's good. Vanessa Williams plays Anne Marie. And I gotta say, very good performance. See, Cassie Lemmons as Bernadette. She's great. We have several others. We actually even have Ted Rainey. Of course, that's the brother to a certain Sam Rainey, making an appearance. The director of the film, Bernard Rose, appears in this as well. And that's all I can tell you. And Dewan Guy plays Jake. Anyway, everyone else isn't too bad. Oh, but I almost forgot. But the big thing was Tony Todd, who plays the title character of Candyman. I liked that. That performance was really good too. I think some of the sequences and what have you with Candyman were pretty good. The kills were pretty good. And I will say that some of the atmosphere around in some places, especially in Cabrini Green and what have you, that was really something. Believe me. Anyway, it was so good. Philip Glass does a great job with the score for this, and I think that's awesome as well. So anyway, the story is really good too. So with everything said, would I recommend Candyman? I would say hell yeah. This is a flick you've got to see. Now, of course, this would later go on to have a couple of sequels in Candyman Farewell to the Flesh and Day of the Dead, both of which came out in 95 and 99. And last August, we got a direct sequel disregarding those two sequels. And I've watched that, though, and it's good in some ways. Well, I can't guarantee a review of it. Maybe another day, and maybe if I encounter those two others, maybe. I seem to recall I've seen one of them, maybe not in its entirety, because that's been a long time ago. But anyway, yeah, I think Candyman is well worth looking into. So anyway, it's got a pretty good story, a great cast, it's got good score. I think it's really good. So, what are your thoughts on Candyman? Please tell me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you my review of the previous Paranormal Activity film, Next of Kin, which I'm going to try not to spoil much of that one since it came out last October. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, check out some of these other videos that I've done. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Clive Barker's Hellraiser from 1987. I definitely need to watch more of that. I know it's got a new remake on Hulu, but I don't have Hulu, but if I ever think again, I will look into it. I'll try and watch some of those sequels as well. But anyway, in the upper, or if you would like another bit of a horror type flick with a black lead, go to the upper right hand corner and see my review of Blackula, which recently celebrated its 50th anniversary not so long ago this year. Or if you want something more modern, go to the bottom left hand corner and see my recent spoiler free review of the new Halloween Ends. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.